Hello guys, what's good? I go by the name is Coach Prince, and if you're new to my channel, welcome. In a series of events, we finally get the son himself, Femi Falana, interviewed, and he had to share his own side of the story relating to the whole call out by VeryDarkMan, calling out the Falanas, Fowls, and son himself, Fowls' dad, Femi Falana. So, in an interview with Channels TV, son Femi Falana actually came out to say his own side of the story, and we'll just be dissecting and listening to what he has to say. So, guys, join me on this journey and let's see what son Femi Falana said as relating to the whole allegations and what the consequences are, or what is going to happen with VeryDarkMan, or what they are going to do to VeryDarkMan, if they are going to do anything to VeryDarkMan on this one, guys. So let's watch.
Involving VDM and Bobrisky. Just, Mr. Falana, just before you get, this is the first time some of us are seeing you in public after that very controversial story involving VDM and Bobrisky. What exactly is your own side of the story in this matter?
Well, so I think it's a question of infantile radicalism. Some of our young people are just not prepared to look at the provisions of the law with respect to the law on defamation.
So first of all, the term infantile radicalism. So from my own understanding, it's just saying that infant, child, radicalism, you're radical, you're trying to push for a movement, but infants, you're still young and inexperienced in the whole radicalism thing you are doing. And this is just my own definition, and that's what I feel like that what is going to talk about. Infantile radicalism. It's just saying that VDM is literally very inexperienced in the radical movement that he's doing, and that's why he's making some childish mistakes as regarding the legal consequences of whatever he's doing and how he's going about things. And you can see him smiling here because this is an experienced son. He has been in this game for a long time. And let's listen and let's understand and just, also get one or two knowledge from everything he says here, because these are the elders of now. They will teach us as they also tell us their own side of the story. Let's listen.
They just simply go out there to embarrass people. I can say this without any fear of contradiction. I have assisted 280 people, convicted people, at home and abroad, to get pardon. On one occasion, 200 Nigerians were convicted in Libya for drug-related offenses, but because the trials were conducted in Arabic and none of them spoke Arabic, I petitioned the African Commission on Human and People's Rights. That commission, at our instance, I did a petition on behalf of Serap. At our instance, the commission issued a provisional order, like an injunction, restraining the government of Libya from executing the Nigerians. I think Abike Dabiri was then the chair of the Diaspora Committee of the House of Reps. That committee had appealed to the federal government in vain. But based on our intervention, the court issued an order, and we wrote to, 2 months later, President Gaddafi, the late Muammar Gaddafi, became the chair of the African Union. And we took advantage of that to write to him and appeal to him to pardon this Nigeria by complying with the judgment of the African Commission. And that if you do not, you will be showing a bad example as the leader of the continent, as the chair of the African Union. President Gaddafi granted our request and granted pardon to the 200 convicted Nigerians on death row. They were deported and brought back to Nigeria.
can just say how far and the impact that San Femi Falana has made in the country. Talking about referencing this presidential pardon to which people, over 200 people on death row, were relieved of that sentence and pardoned and brought back to Nigeria. It's a very big deal. So referencing that in this case, you see that pardons are not, it's not the kind of thing that, it's not today that I started this kind of work of pardoning people, both home and internationally. So this is a reputable son, and he's speaking here, so yeah, let's just listen.
On another occasion, and this was 2015, we appealed to General Muhammadu Buhari, 70 soldiers and a general who was demoted to the rank of a colonel had fought the terrorists, but they didn't have adequate equipment. Mr. President, since you set up a presidential arms procurement panel which had confirmed those who looted the huge sums, over $2 billion, earmarked for procurement of arms, please, can you grant pardon to these guys who were illegally convicted and sentenced? The 70 soldiers were sentenced to death. The General Eniton Ransom Kuti was demoted to the rank of a colonel and also jailed for 6 months. We got the Army Council to quash his conviction for 6 months, and we now appeal to President Buhari to pardon him. Happily, his rank has since been restored. He has retired now as a brigadier general, while we are pursuing the demand for payment of the rights, I mean the entitlement, outstanding salaries and allowances of the 70 soldiers. So I can go on and on. I mean, you recall in 1991, 12 young people under 17 were illegally sentenced to death, convicted of armed robbery, and sentenced to death in Lagos by an armed robbery tribunal. Again, we stopped there, we rushed to the court to stop their execution. And when a civilian government came on board in 1992, we appealed to you, the late Chief Michael Detodola, as the governor of Lagos State, to pardon these young people. They were pardoned. And so we already have a list of about 280 people. On no occasion, in none of these cases, has our law firm demanded for or received a dime, a kobo, from anybody who has been granted pardon.
Mr. Falana,
I was therefore flabbergasted.
Yeah. So that there are those who will say, did Bobrisky actually reached out to you? Did Bobrisky speak or directly or indirectly to you? If that is not if that is the case or not the case, what are you doing? You've written a letter seeking a retraction of it.
No.
But what are you doing to establish your innocence in what has been an allegation on this matter?
No, Seun. Bobrisky never spoke to me. I have never met him. I do not know him from Adam. He was alleged to have spoken to my son, Falana, Fars. Yes, my son said this guy was appealing to people for assistance and called my son, I think on May 4 thereabout this year, please, can you give me 3 million naira to be placed in a special part of the prison? We call it the VIP section. And my son asking, are you calling me under the authorization of the superintendent of prisons? He said, no, please, don't call me again. I'm unable to assist you to bribe the prison authorities. And be very careful, since you're already in jail for an offense. Please, if you are going to call me next time, you either do it through the superintendent or you write a letter endorsed by the prison authorities. And that was the last. Somebody now said he listened to a tape somewhere and went out to lampoon and rather defame me by saying the guy had spoken to me. Of course, we are going to examine the call logs, and my son has also said this was the guy who originated a call to me. My son has never negotiated fees on behalf of anybody. On the contrary, my 3 children normally refer people who need assistance to me, and not those. In fact, my wife was asking our kids recently, why are you always sending people who are not able to pay our fees? Next time we are going to be charging you. So this is the position. Now what I'm going to do, I have resisted the temptation shown to file a criminal complaint because I'm leading a team of lawyers in West Africa campaigning for decriminalization of freedom of expression. We have succeeded. This campaign is being coordinated by the Media Foundation for West Africa, of which I'm a member of the board. We have succeeded in getting Liberia, Ghana, and Sierra Leone to decriminalize freedom of expression. We are still appealing to other countries in the region to ensure that we respect freedom of expression. But that is not a license for defaming people, for blackmailing people. Once, and what we are saying, if you are defamed, in the words of the late Justice Olatawura, in the case of Otawankwa and the state, if you are defamed by anybody, please go out there and sue for libel, where you put your own character in issue. In this case, we are not going to file a criminal complaint. We will not be pushed to do that. I'm currently defending a couple of journalists who are.
So the lock VDM has here, and why VDM is kind of like off the hook on this one, is because Femi Falana is chasing a program to make sure that people are not criminalized for expressing themselves on the media. So because it's pushing an agenda that's kind of like is a little bit in sync with what VDM is doing, that's why he resisted the urge to file a criminal complaint against VDM. I'm sure VDM has spoken to them, maybe off camera, and on the back end spoken to maybe one of the Falanas or maybe Fowles, and he has heard that there are not going to be legal sanctions against him. That's why he came online and he dropped a message to Fowles where he was like, Fowles, there are serious things happening here, trying to familiarize himself with Fowles. There are serious things happening here. Let's get on this one and do this. So, which means that he acknowledges Fowles as someone that is an activist and pushes for what is right. So I think he has heard that. So this is so under the libel law, what VDM did is actually a criminal offense because he actually defamed people of their character by what he said. You know, a lot of people came online with their ignorance and were speaking whatever. A lot of people were saying off key, using emotions. VDM, let's fight the real thing. Fight Bobrisky. Bobrisky is not the one that released the tape and mentioned and gave his takes. VDM did. So, yes, I'm just happy that it just came right in time where he was pushing a program to decriminalize freedom of expression on the media. So VDM is off the hook, but VDM should learn from this. It's actually he should learn from this. It's a very important lesson for him. So let's listen.
Standing trial, either under the Cyber Crimes Act or under criminal libel. But what you are going to do is to embark on civil proceedings with a view to restoring our integrity, my own name and that of my son, so that nobody will simply rush to the social media to defend any Nigerian. We want to make an example. In this case, we have asked for a retraction and an apology rendered to us. And that is not too much. And if we don't have a retraction, an apology acceptable to us, accepted by us, we are certainly going to initiate civil proceedings. in the High Court.
Yeah, Mr. Falana, because this is actually not, I mean, I'm saying for the sake of the public who have not seen or heard from you in this matter, who have the benefit of hearing your own side of the story, and that's why I brought it up. But I know how painful this could be, especially if you have built a reputation over the years. Now, the question here. Yeah, the question quickly, Mr. Falana, because of the main subject for which I invited you. I like you to touch on the fundamentals aside the defamation or the libelous angle to this matter. Is the alleged corruption involved in our correctional service or with the EFCC about the withdrawal of the money laundering case dependent on a possible inducement? Just in about 60 seconds, Mr. Falana, so that we can get to the substantive matter for which we are here.
So, I'm a former inmate of the correctional centers in the country. I also do prison work. I've exposed the rot in the prisons more than any Nigerian. On one occasion, I did the report revealed that between 2005 and 2006, and I have a government report to this effect, that 197 people convicted of drug trafficking in the Federal High Court in Ikoyi, convicted and sentenced to prison terms without any option of fine, never made it to any prison in Nigeria. Never. When I petitioned the authorities, I think they declared them wanted. Only one was found. The rest went back to the trade. I'm still pursuing this matter.
Register for free. Choose from over 200,000 vehicles online. Get your car straight.
Secondly, everybody who has been to the prison, either as an inmate, an awaiting trial person, or a convict, knows that in every correctional center in Nigeria, there is a VIP section. It is called the White House. It's for big people. It's for big men and women. If you are a man of means or a woman of means, and you are detained in our prisons or correctional centers, you are going to be accommodated in the VIP section in the White House. So I'm rather surprised that the House of Reps was pretending not to know this, that a panel is being set up to know the state of our correctional center. But the Correctional Services Act of 2019 has made adequate provisions for checking the excesses of prison officials. I've just done a letter to the Honorable Minister of Interior, who is doing a marvelous job in that Ministry of Interior. I wrote to him a couple of weeks ago, Honorable Minister, by virtue of Section 21 of the Correctional Services Act, there shall be prison visitors. Visitors to go to visit our correctional centers on a regular basis and write reports, recommend what the government should do to address problems in our correctional center. And the minister has called me to assure me that the appointments will be carried out as soon as possible. So for me, if we have prison visitors going to the correctional centers on a regular basis, independent people, public officers, judges, members of the National Executive Body of the Nigerian Bar Association, as provided by the law, if they carry out their statutory duties, our country will not be exposed from time to time with respect to the management of correctional center.
All right, so before he takes it further, because there's a lot of things we're supposed to touch on that we've not touched on here. First of all, for VDM, he said that they would chase civil rights. some civil suits. VDM will face on civil suits so that nobody can actually do this to anybody again, where they feel like they can get away with it, where they just come out and call people by their name and accuse them of something based on a reaction or something that they watched or something that they listened to. So he said that there will be a civil action taken for the whole situation with VDM. So that aside, speaking on the case of if Bobrisky went to jail or not, what Sam Falana is saying here is that it is possible that Bobrisky never went to jail, and he's saying here that people that there have been a situation where a lot of people were convicted to go to jail and they never made it to jail. So in his whole program he wrote a letter to the Minister of Interiors, of which a lot of good and positive things have been said about the Minister of Interiors. Even VDM actually had good things to say about the Minister of Interiors. He wrote to the Minister of Interiors that there should be regular visits to the prisons by judges, public officers, and co, so that they can, as they go and visit these prisons, they can do like a check on what is necessary, what is needed. I knew he was supposed to be in prison. I know it's not really. I think there should be that kind of check. I think that's what Sam Falana is talking about here. So let's listen.
With respect to the management of correctional center, Nigeria has the lowest number of convicts in the world, having regard to our population, because the correctional center are now reserved for the wretched of the earth, the poor, the underprivileged, or the masses of our people.
This is actually in line with some of the things that VDM talked about, where it's like, is it that the people that go to jail are just the poor? Are the rich not also entitled to be in correctional centers? Are they the ones that are going to stay in a place or a hotel outside the correctional facility? It's different from staying in the VIP section or the White House, like Sam Falana said, of the correctional facility. That White House, which is the VIP section of the correctional facility, is supposed to be there by these inmates that are celebrities or reputable people that committed an offense. They're supposed to be in those areas, and they are not supposed to pay a dime to be there. You are not supposed to pay a dime to be in the place that is allocated to you because of your person of status that had a criminal charge against you. It's different. So he was even referencing the whole panel and the panel that was formed on the House of Reps concerning this situation, and it was like, why are these people doing and acting surprised that there's a VIP section, which is supposed to be like a public knowledge, because it's not supposed to be something that is news or a big news that Bobrisky was supposed to be in the VIP section of the prison White House, because he's a popular and a famous individual. He's supposed to be there. He's supposed to be there without any bribery or any money paid. So he referenced them without insinuating anything, without saying much to that regard. So it's also, we should just question the system. Really, we should question the whole correctional system and how they have taken the whole thing to become kind of like a business for them. So let's continue.
Are now reserved for the wretched of the earth, the poor, the underprivileged, or the masses of our people. A big man or a big woman does not stay. I mean, it's difficult to ask a big man to go to the prison, even when they are charged. Even when a former governor, a former minister is charged with diverting billions of naira, you simply ask him to go to a correctional center for 2 days, awaiting the arguments on application for bail. So that's what is going on. It's only the poor that are railroaded to jail in Nigeria.
Let me take you to, I wish we had more time. Well, unfortunately, the substantive matter for which we invited you tonight. I saw a letter which you wrote to one to SIPEM and the other to Mary Techmot SPA. These are private entities which you wrote to in respect of the Port Harcourt refinery. Rehabilitation.
All right, I think this is where we end it because with this whole topic it's relating to the whole VDM and the Falanas. I don't want to go into deep into other legal areas because it's not what this video is about. So this is where we end it. Yes, civil actions will be taken to VDM on VDM rather by the Falanas, and it's not going to be like a criminal charge. I don't think it's going to jail, but it's going to face legal actions of which it will be accountable for the things he said, and it will also be a learning experience for him to know how to address situations going further in his activism, because like Femi Falana called it, he called it infantile radicalism, which means that it's an inexperienced baby in the whole quest for being a radical, for being a justice fighter, for being a fighter of justice, like you say. So yes, he deserves the civil action. To be honest, it deserves it, and it's going to be a learning experience for him. What I would say, like I said in my last video concerning the situation, is I'm surprised that VDM has a lot of lawyers, or he has a lawyer that is representing him, but he doesn't scrutinize his contents with respect to the legal consequences before releasing them. It's important that he does that. It's important that his videos, before they go out to the public, are being seen by his lawyers, so that he will not always be putting his lawyers to work every time and they are sweating if they can't defend him enough. But with that being said, guys, tell me what you think about your situation. Kudos to the Falanas, to Femi Falana for his work. And guys, tell me what you think about this. Don't forget to like, don't forget to comment, don't forget to share with a friend. And I'll see you on the next one. With that being said, my people, peace.